Yeah, when you're ready.
So I'm adapting Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis. It was going to be just like heavily inspired by it, but because it was published in 1915, I think the copyright should be off it, shouldn't it?
Should be. It's normally 100 years.
So it's going to be 1 to 2 minutes long, and it's going to be quite experimental because I was going to just adapt the whole thing, but I'm not going to get it done because it's a stop motion I'm doing. So that's the log line. So basically, Gregor wakes up and he's turned into a bug, and then the story plays out from there. And it's about how his family sort of reacts to it. So the story starts out with him waking up and finding out that he's been transformed into a monstrous vermin. From there, like his parents wonder if he's ill or what's wrong because he's got his door locked, so he can't actually access him. He tries to get out of bed, but he's still getting used to his new body. And then his boss arrives to wonder like why he's not in work. And then he eventually lets himself out, but obviously they're horrified by his appearance, and he tries to reason with his boss, but his boss just sort of freezes and leaves.
Jess, we're doing something.
It's alright, I need to get back.
Carry on, you're on.
And then his mum has a panic attack, and his dad gets quite aggressive with him and ends up shoving him back into his bedroom and injuring him at the same time. And then he ends up waking up from his sleep because he sort of goes into a kind of coma for about the length of a day because of his injury. And he starts trying to eat because his sister's left him out some milk with bread in it. And then he observes how his family are acting after they've lost him essentially. And from there, the family's affairs get more and more dire because he was the main financial support for them. And eventually they end up sort of putting the foot down because they can't stand him any longer. And then he ends up dying of starvation, basically. Yeah.
It's a comedy.
So in terms of camera work, for my creative vision, I wanted to use like cramped framing and slow zooms and extreme close-ups to build like suspense and tension between different characters during different interactions. I also wanted to use clunky editing and freeze frames to emphasise the more violent scenes where the dad injures him and that because he's disgusted by him. But other than that, I wanted to use wide framing to sort of make him seem isolated. Well, he is isolated, so emphasise that he's isolated and sort of in this desolate world where he has no future. I also wanted to use tracking shots for it because that's just a reference to Kubrick, really. In terms of colour, I want to use muted tones to emphasise the grim reality that Gregor's living in, but also use warm light for the more positive moments, like when he dies, his family gets to move on to a better future, so that's quite a positive moment for them. And then also use gels like you see in Last Night in Soho to emphasise more dramatic moments, so red for violence or anger or that sort of thing. And I also wanted to sort of come up with a defined colour scheme like you see in Tim Burton movies that could fade over time because his sister begins to neglect him. So it's the literal dust covering his bedroom. But as well as that, it's his life fading away because he doesn't live long as the monstrous vermin. I wanted to have a slow pace originally because that's sort of the pace of the story itself, because it's quite simplistic and focuses on like the little details in his life. But because it's going to be more experimental, it'll have to be quite succinct, and I'll cut out some content so you can get the same emotional like impact, but from less content essentially. And it's going to have a serious tone because it's a serious story, really. And then for locations, because it's a stop motion, it's all going to be set based, and I'll build those. I have yet to design what it's going to look like, but it's going to be inspired by like 90s era Britain, like train spotting sort of thing. And they're going to be collapsible, so I can get the camera everywhere I need to. And I've been talking to Kes about how I'm going to organise my bedroom to fit everything in. Schedule. To be honest, I'm a little bit behind on it because I haven't started the pre-production documents, but I've got enough time to design everything and build everything, so I can start filming either the week back from the Easter holidays or the week after. So that should give me enough time to film everything, because I won't need to edit much if I don't mess up what I'm filming, because it's a stop motion. So this is my like references of films, books and music. So I've got other like animated films like Wallace and Gromit and Opal by Jack Stauber that you can sort of tell that someone's actually made it and had their hands on it, instead of it just being this like pristine masterpiece like Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I have like a Frankenstein book that's got a lot to do with how they made it, so the set design, how they design the characters and objects in it and costumes. So I've been using that as inspiration and different song lyrics as well. Yeah, all that. And my role's just to do everything, really. So I have to direct it, write it, sound and all that as well. But I'm going to focus on cinematography mainly because that's what I like doing, but I'm going to try and actually learn how to do sound for once.
Cool. Well, there shouldn't be a lot with the stop motion element anyway. Should all be post sound really?
Yeah.
So are your characters going to speak in the film or not?
No, they're not going to have dialogue.
No. So it's all the key challenge is going to be getting the characterization across through performance.
Yeah, like
and
visual
camera.
Storytelling, so subtle expressions and that sort of thing.
Cool. And you came to the Wallace and Gromit stuff, and did you get some pictures and stuff when you were there?
Yeah, I've got like, it's not my picture, but there's like a picture of it up there. So
Right. That'd be good to go on your blog, to put on your blog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Is that everything or?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Great. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Get some feedback for Johan.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So, I know you want to do stop motion, but I was thinking about it. Is it like the best option? Like maybe like a hybrid, kind of like Jason the Argonauts, where it's like a mix of live action and stop motion. Like get the emotion out.
Why did you pick stop motion?
Well, I personally enjoy doing it, but the main draw at the time when I made the decision was because I didn't enjoy train spotting. So I thought I don't have to work with anyone else if I do stop motion.
That's a really good point you should get across.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think then the only thing left after that is to justify why. Okay, you didn't want to work with anyone else, but why stop motion? Why is that in service of the story?
Yeah.
I can think of a good reason where the practicality of shooting a real life giant bug is not easy.
Yeah.
I think you could like merge it though, like if you had like the bug on like a green screen, or like if you roto brushed it. I think that could be because like it's like especially if you got.
You could definitely
Real life
consider all
humans.
these things for your blog. It's worth considering, even if you don't really want to do it. It's worth.
Yeah.
Like if you got real humans, I feel like it'd be more emotional to audiences. But other than that, though, I said it was really good. You were a good speaker, very in depth, and yeah, it was very good.
Thanks.
Have you got stuff to add, Harry? So
Not much really. Again, maybe it's a bit text heavy, but I thought all like the technicality and the creative vision of the mood boards were just really good.
your analysis and evaluation stuff is brilliant. Like when you get to read the text, it's great. I know one thing Kez always says is you need to paragraph
Yeah.
to make it easier to read. But what you actually write down, your analysis, your evaluation of stuff is superb. It's top notch. So if you've got a real aptitude for writing, I'd hate to say don't do it.
Yeah.
It's just splitting it up to make it more malleable, more usable. Well, great job. Well done.